Hey everyone, and welcome. We're always hearing that AI models learn from data, right? But what does that actually mean? It can kind of sound like magic, but it's not. It's actually a really fascinating step-by-step process. So today, we're going to pull back that curtain and look at how a machine really goes from being wrong to being right.
So let's just ask the big question right up front. How does an AI model actually learn? It's definitely not about just memorizing things. It's a process of making tiny, gradual improvements. It's about making a mistake and then very systematically correcting it, over and over and over again. And the key to this whole thing starts with one simple idea, knowing just how wrong you are.
All right, let's get into it. For a model to get better, it first needs a scorecard. It has to have a way to measure its own performance, to put a number on exactly how far its guesses are from the actual right answer. This isn't some vague feeling. It's a cold, hard number.
And that scorecard? It's called a cost function. Just think of it as an error calculator. Let's say an AI is trying to predict house prices. If it guesses $300,000, but the house really sold for $350,000, well, the cost function takes that $50,000 mistake and boils it down into a single score. The bigger the mistake, the higher the score. Simple as that.
So the goal becomes super clear, right? On one side of the coin, you have a high cost. That means your predictions are way off, and the model is doing a pretty bad job. On the other side, you have a low cost, which means your predictions are getting really close to the truth. The entire game of learning is just figuring out how to get from that high-cost column over to the low-cost one.
Okay, so the mission is clear. Get the lowest score you possibly can. But how? I mean, a model can have millions of tiny internal knobs and dials, what we call weights. Which one should it turn? And should it turn them up or down? How on earth does it know which tiny adjustment is actually going to lower its score?
And that question brings us to the really elegant solution. The whole strategy is best explained with a really powerful analogy. I want you to imagine you're standing on a massive, hilly landscape, but it's completely covered in a thick fog. Your one and only goal? Find the lowest point, the deepest valley around.
In this analogy, that whole landscape, every hill and valley, is the cost function. Your exact location is set by the model's current weights, and your altitude, how high up you are, is your error score. So being on a high mountain peak means you have a really high error. Being in a deep valley means you have a very low error. The model's job is to start somewhere random and find its way down into the lowest valley it can.
Now, this valley finding strategy has a name. It's called gradient descent. And honestly, it's one of the most important algorithms in all of machine learning. It's the step-by-step instruction manual the model uses to feel its way through that foggy landscape and walk downhill towards a point with the smallest possible error.
And the process itself is surprisingly intuitive. First, you just start at a completely random spot. Then, you feel the ground right under your feet to figure out which direction is the steepest way down. That's the gradient. Then you take one small step in that downhill direction. And you just repeat. That's it. Check the slope, take a step. Check the slope, take a step. Thousands and thousands of times until you can't go downhill anymore.
But wait a second, how does it check the steepness? Remember, it can't see anything because of the fog. This is where the real mechanics kick in, and it's all powered by a bit of calculus.
So the model uses calculus, specifically something called partial derivatives, to figure out the slope of the landscape for every single one of its weights. You can think of it like being able to feel the ground in every direction all at once. That calculation gives the model a perfect reading of the gradient, the direction of the steepest climb. Now, the official definition can sound a little intimidating, but the idea is actually really simple. The gradient is just a vector. You can think of it as an arrow that points in the direction of the steepest uphill path. So to find the valley, the model just does the logical thing. It takes a small step in the exact opposite direction of that arrow. So let's just connect all the dots here. The foggy landscape we've been talking about, that is the cost function. Your position in that landscape is just the model's current weights. Your altitude is the error score. That steepness you feel under your feet, that's the gradient. And taking that small step downhill, that is the model updating its weights, becoming just a tiny bit smarter.
So what does this actually look like over time? Well, after thousands or even millions of these tiny calculated steps, the model has followed a winding path downwards, right into a valley, successfully shrinking its error as much as possible.
So let's just recap that whole journey. The AI starts out totally naive, with a random set of weights, basically lost on a high mountain peak. From there, it uses gradient descent to feel its way, step by tiny step, always moving downhill.
With every single step, it adjusts its weights, and it slowly walks its way down until it settles in a valley, a point where the cost, the error, is at a minimum. And at that point, we can say the model is now trained.
Now, this process sounds like it guarantees a good result, but here's a final question for you. In deep learning, this cost landscape isn't a simple bowl. It's unbelievably complex, with tons of different peaks, pits, and valleys. So if learning is just about finding the lowest point, what happens if the model wanders into a small, shallow valley instead of the deepest one out there? How does it know it found the best possible answer and not just a good enough one?
That question, the challenge of finding the best valley, not just any valley, is one of the trickiest problems in AI research today. But we'll have to save that for another time. If you found this explainer helpful and you want to dig into more concepts like this, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for joining me.